Did XRP just kick me out of position, and is it threatening to rally once again? Well, it's looking like it. It is most definitely looking like it. Now, in the last live stream, guys, I gave y'all the criteria to be looking out for to figure out if the bulls are taking over once again. Let's quickly go ahead and recap that. Okay, as many of you guys know, for those of you actually playing XRP did see this crazy rally. Amazing rally at that too. I, for one, I had to follow my rules. I did exit a bit of my position. I took partial profits off the table on the break of $2.01. Now, it appears that yes, XRP did rally, right? But like I said, now I don't want you guys to get too excited on just one pump. All right, you want to see more. Always seek more power with price action. XRP did have a good rally yesterday on the news drop. However, it should be noted that currently price is up against weekly dynamic resistance. Now I'm looking at this range right here, 201 going down to $1.85. Take note of it if you must. Okay, I start seeing more daily candle closes underneath $1.85. All right, then I say we're likely coming down lower. Okay, at which point $1.47, yes, is going to be my next stop. However, if on the flip side XRP manages to actually maintain this as the range, I'm saying the bulls might be picking up a bit more steam here, okay? At which point reclaiming 201 is likely going to be on the books. So as much as, yeah, I would like the $1.47 bid to build in, I gotta be very aware of what's going on here. So I'll be looking for how price reacts off of this range. I gotta keep my biases at bay. Consider this, I lost a bit of my position, guys. I've actually taken profits out. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. If we maintain this range, there's a good chance that the bulls actually pick it up from here. All right, this is it right here. We're looking at this range from 201 to $1.85. And I said that, hey, if we start seeing strength over 201 once again, that might actually give us the tip in that, hey, the bulls are taking over. Okay, now what is it going to take for me to get my position back? Well, once again, okay, my conviction is not going to come cheap on this range. I want to see multiple candle closes over 201. Well, we close a weekly candle as well as a bi-weekly candle, as well as that 201 region. Well, that was a weekly level that actually kicked me out of position to begin with. And this was it right here. Notice how every single visit of that 201 level on the weekly time frame was picked up by the bulls. Literally every single visit. That was my key invalidation. Now, if this weekly candle manages to reclaim 201, well, that changes the picture drastically. And hell, if it looks anything like this, that makes it even more bullish, considering that we'd also be reclaiming that weekly dynamic resistance once again. So for tomorrow's weekly close, I want to see XRP close over this entire range, which spans from 208 down to 201. Now, for those of you looking to capture the next trade on XRP, BitUnix is running an insane deposit bonus campaign. This is literally free money at the corner of the room, so make sure you're taking advantage of it. You can use it to put on new trades, and hell, you can also use it to practice your leverage trading with. This effectively minimizes your risk on your trades. So take advantage of it while it lasts. And if we get a close over this range, I'm saying the bulls are back in control. Now, what does that mean for me? Well, it means that I got faked out of my position last week. If you guys remember, I did take partial profits off the table. Now, for those of you wondering, well, Krisha, how do we avoid getting ourselves into such situations? How do we avoid getting faked out? Well, the hard truth is that you get faked out. Yeah, I know, nobody wants to hear that, right? But if you get faked out, and if prices decide that, hey, you know what, we're going to reverse once again, trend is back on, well, guess what? It's still going to be relatively easy to get back your position. And more importantly, you stuck to your guns on your system. If on the flip side, I made an excuse for staying in my trade despite price breaking my invalidation at 201, and then XRP decided to spiral down to $1.47, breaking trend entirely, well, what would that cost me? That would cost me another 26% in profits. Now, if the market did reverse in earnest, you'd be happy that you had those rules and those guidelines set for yourself. And believe me, the markets will eventually turn. Might not be right now, but for when it turns, you're going to be so happy that you followed your rules. If you make an excuse for them this time around, well, when the market does turn, you're going to make an excuse for them that time around, and you're going to wish that you hadn't. Now in this instance, if price does end up closing over that weekly dynamic indicator, I will consider getting back the position that I sold. So far, this weekly candle looks absolutely explosive. Now, in addition to the candle looking explosive, here's another thing on patterns. I know everybody's looking at that massive bearish head and shoulders pattern, but when patterns fail to play out and they're showing hesitance on the side of the trend, which in this case should have been a downtrend, when instead you start seeing the bull step in, there's a good chance that this pattern might actually be morphing into a bullish pattern. Now, failed bearish head and shoulders patterns often morph into this very popular bullish pattern, which is none other than a falling channel pattern that we have right here. Now, mind you, this has not activated just yet. However, once XRP starts closing multiple candles over that upper diagonal, starts establishing an uptrend over, that's going to give us the sign of an actual break of the pattern, in which instance that gets activated quite immediately. We're then looking at a measured move that would take XRP back up to $3.17. All right, now this is something that I want you guys to watch out for. Look for an uptrend to be established on this range right here, daily time frame. But you also want to look for a break of the upper diagonal right there. Okay, that's going to tell you that, hey, the pattern has actually been activated, at which point the next most likely move is going to be a move to the upside. From the break of the pattern all the way to the measured move, guys, that's going to be a 40% on the range alone. That's right, 40% on that swing. Now, of course, as we get more information on this, I will be updating you guys, so make sure you hit the sub and the bell icon. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the likes. I will now see you in the Discord chat. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.